It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out, it's trash day. Putting you out of my mind. It's trash day, I'm putting you out, it's trash day. I'm putting you out, trash day, I'm putting you out of my mind. Now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up, now I'm gonna clean up the house. Taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage, taking all your garbage.
Can Crushers, you're filling my heart with your wrestling knowledge daily. Oh, Can Crushers, I'm down on my knees. I'm begging you please to go on. 'Cause it's Can Crusher Day!
And welcome to the show. It is Mark Martinez alongside Paul Bullers. Paul, this already feels a little bit weird.
I know, it's early in the morning. We're drinking coffees instead of beers because, well, I mean, yesterday we put in a pretty good shift.
You put on a pretty good beer.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We went to the Straub Tap Room in St. Mary's, Pennsylvania, and tried all their new beers and IPAs and all that goody good stuff.
I'll tell you, their winter bash is by far my favorite. Straw beer with pink grapefruit in it.
Yeah, it was really good. Their 444, I don't know, it was a craft brew or something. It wasn't bad. Their IPA was not as rugged as I thought it was going to be.
You said you didn't mind it.
Yeah,
Normally you make the kid's face that's eating Raisin Bran in the morning that you just don't like it.
IPAs are rough for me. I'm not a hop guy. And
you got hops, though.
And hop blasters is anything that says hop in it. I'm
and then
like,
blaster at the end.
It doesn't make me very hoppy.
The Autumn Smash?
Autumn Smash.
It's an apple beer as well. Very delightful.
Really good. The Summer Splash, of course, is always good.
We love that. Yeah, we love that.
The Taproom Raz was good, too. A lot of fruity beers. There wasn't much. I wanted to try the Smooth Eddie, but they were 86th.
86. And we found out what that actually means.
Right. And I didn't know that for any time. I
yelled
86. And I worked in a kitchen for a long time.
I learned yesterday that when you 86 something, it is done. Discontinued for that moment, which we understood that. But we didn't understand how that all came about. And our boy, AJ Alexander, told us that it's the measurements of the coffin.
Yeah, the dimensions of the grave.
Yeah, the grave. And I'm like, oh, shit. Welcome back to reality. So, boom, there it is. And I'm like, huh. And then he kind of just, sauntered away. He was very wiry.
He was like, I don't know if they wanted to hear that, but they heard it.
But learning stuff.
Oh, my God.
You sound like you're getting the sickness.
I do. I am. Teresa passed
You
it
need
on.
to kick this in the butt. You got 14 days.
I know.
Less than 14 days.
I'm super excited. I can't wait.
That sounds it. It sounds it. Other things that we're super excited here as we will be shifting gears. Today we're recording on Sunday.
Which will be our new Can Crusher Day.
Yeah, it's going to be released on Sundays for sure. We may shift to sometimes we have to record a Saturday due to Paul and I are
constraints
loaded from other reasons. It's going to be released every Sunday about 4 or 5 o'clock. Ballparking there, so you can listen to us get our predictions out, especially next week when it's Hell in the Cell.
Yeah, so you'll hear our predictions hours before Hell in the Cell.
So we're actually going to be cutting edge.
Oh!
or maybe catching up.
But why we're moving to Sunday is wrestling has changed immensely with this whole week.
People had said before, the Attitude Era and everything, that it was the hottest time of wrestling, and then I'll revert back with me and the older guys that are on Can Crusher saying, we love the 80s as the hottest time of wrestling. I think everybody's got to pump the brakes. Right now is. Let's just go through the schedule of what wrestling, national brands that everybody knows when it's happening, Monday nights.
Well, Sunday is actually the start of the week.
Sunday is start of the week, and it's
Can Crusher. Sunday is Can Crusher Day.
Right, so Sunday is Can Crusher Day.
And then Monday we go into...
You have Monday Night Raw.
And MLW.
And MLW gets released on YouTube. They are recorded different times during it, but it gets released on YouTube for those people that don't have B in sports. So those are two big shows right off the get.
Right. And then Tuesdays.
You have Live Now, OVW, on the OVW network and live in Kentucky, along with their partnership brand, Impact. So Impact and OVW working hand in hand on Tuesdays. I think that's intriguing because they're going to go live for Impact, so you might not see that crossover, but Impact's got a large roster that they can still send a couple people down to OVW. I think you're going to see that work well, and I think thus Al, smart that he is, figured this out. Wednesdays
is a big day.
It's going to be the war. It really is going to be the war, folks, as it's NXT, now 2 hours on USA. None of this split crap, which I didn't like the last couple weeks.
I think it was a transitional thing, and you had to do it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
But now you have AEW starting out. First show this week.
And get ready for it, they're going all in on this first show.
What else is there?
Right?
So they might even be all out. Who knows if it backfires or not.
But double or nothing, they're going in.
And winner take all or something. I don't know what the last one was.
Fight for freedom.
No, Fight for Freedom.
No, Fight or Fest. Fight for Freedom was OVW. You have a women's championship match. The tag team tournament's going on. I'm sure Cody's going to... I mean, there's leaks about everything that's going to be going on.
But who knows if they're just leaking stuff just to leak stuff and then not leak
stuff.
Yeah, they just want to build the show up.
And we're going to pause on Wednesdays for a second. We know it's going to be on Raw. We know it's going to be on SmackDown. NXT is going to be a huge player in this. What do you watch Wednesday?
It's old school for me, man. I'm flipping back and forth. I got the reset button,
the reset button from IWC?
No.
You actually got that from Jackson Argos?
Yeah, no, not that reset button. The channel reset button. Remember that?
Recall.
Yeah.
Okay. Or back.
And you just every time a commercial come on, you'd hit the recall button. And if they were both on commercial, whichever one was on when you got to that channel was the channel you stayed on for a little bit until the next commercial.
NXT has announced that they will be live for 2 hours with limited commercial breaks for this first show. That's just another way to say, stay here.
Yeah.
Stay here. They have announced that as we cover NXT, there's a huge title match as well coming forward. Thursday, you have day off. Maybe. You can find some local stuff to watch. This is where you can catch up with your subscriptions to IWC or
in all fairness, this is probably where I catch up with watching the last hour of each show.
Touche. Me as well. Because with this much wrestling and us going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be tired.
Oh, yeah.
But wrestling's important. More important than work.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
Friday
you have SmackDown shifting over to Fox, which this transition I think is going to be the biggest one. Fox, no disrespect to any other network, USA, TNT, anything else. Fox is the biggest name now on TV holding wrestling.
This is NFL Sundays on Fox. I mean, you have Fox is a sports network per se. So now with professional wrestling being on this network, it's big.
It is. Huge title match announced for this Friday as well. Kofi against Brock. We'll see what happens there. But you're going to see SmackDown be the number one show. They're going, all right, cheesy again. They're going all in. They're moving.
I don't know if you can do that with
you can't.
WWE.
No. They're shifting gears.
Yeah.
They're taking Michael Cole, Graves, and...
Which automatically, for me, I don't want to watch that show because I can't stand Corey Graves or Michael Cole.
But
I don't like the 3-person announce team. I'll listen to Renee Young, read the dictionary.
She's going to be on the Tuesday night show that's going to start on FS1 with Booker T.
But for right now, she's going to stay on...
Right, on SmackDown.
I want to see more of them pit the commentators against each other, Have a clear heel, a clear baby face, and if you want the guy in the middle to flip-flop, then do that. I'm okay with that.
Michael Cole will be the flip-flopper.
Michael Cole, to me, is a better heel than Corey Graves.
So you want Corey Graves to continue to be a flip-flopper?
Yeah, because that's all he does right now.
The doll of the show.
Yeah. That's all Corey Graves does right now, but Michael Cole doesn't stay heel.
No, he doesn't.
He flip-flops too.
He needs to be back to being a coal miner, where he needs to be put in his own little cage.
I want him to put the wrestling headset back on and the old wrestling singlet.
Yeah.
The best days of Michael Cole.
And then you have Saturdays, which we need to jump on this if something big's happened. New Japan. We are so far behind New Japan. I have hours upon years and months.
We talked about this the other day. I said, I feel like every time I watch New Japan, I am lost because I don't watch it enough.
But it's so good.
And
it's just like that coffee. It was so good.
And it is good, but like you don't know what's going on. So you're just like, this is kind of... the wrestling's great.
Right.
But the storyline part, I'm like, I don't know. And then we have Ring of Honor on Saturdays, too.
And then we have WOW.
Wow.
Yeah, Women of Wrestling Superheroes. And with us knowing some of them legit personally, I really like watching that. Spoiler, we are in the process of getting someone else from WOW on the show, as we just haven't ironed out a date.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, we have a lot of big interviews in this little phone in front of me that's coming to fruition real quick. It's just we need to pick dates. They're all on board, so
yeah,
it's pretty awesome. We're growing with wrestling as well. I mean, holy shit, look out.
Which is great. And like when we do the wrestler spotlights, this is for the wrestlers. Like it's not for us. Like,
oh, it's for me to mark out.
Well,
with
yeah,
them.
Mark marks out a lot, but so if you're a wrestler, an indie wrestler, and you want to get onto our spotlight,
how can they reach us?
Shoot us a message on Instagram, which is Can Crusher 69. If you're on Facebook, we're Can Crusher Wrestling Podcast. But you look Can Crusher 69. That'll help you find us. Our email is cancrusher69@gmail.com.
You can also head to our website as well, and there's many links on the website. If you don't want to email me and you want to email Paul, you can go under his picture and it says contact, and it'll go to Paul, it'll go to the English professor, if you just don't like me. Nonetheless, I will be on the interview with you.
Not all the time. See, we're changing that up too because...
Good luck. None of them know how to... This is my baby, and you've all said this is your baby. None of them know how to use the software.
Not the software. I'm not worried about that. But I know how to use my phone. And I can take a voice memo on my phone and send it...
To me.
To you.
And then I can add my own business.
Yeah. But you don't get to ask the questions. I do.
I don't. And we're all about that. You know, hopefully... not that I don't not like going to wrestling with Paul. That's correction number 1 probably coming this week. But if we can branch out, if Paul's in Williamsport with the football team and, you know, something's going on down there and he runs into somebody just by hook or whatever, hey, I know this guy. It's Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
And as I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, you know, we're branching. It's going to be balls to the wall Can Crushers.
Right. And we got the Rated X superstar down in Baltimore.
Working his way.
Yeah.
He got us hooked up with next week's Spotlight that has already been recorded. It's a fun interview. Which then she, spoiler alert, already booked somebody else for us. Instantly, right after the interview. She's like, I know somebody else that wants to come on. So we're going to also partner with MCW out of Joppa, Maryland as well, getting some of those superstars on who are then connected to ROH.
See that? We're just...
Lasso! It's a big-ass lasso!
It's like a circle. There's no edges of the circle.
But sometimes with us, there's edges on anything.
Circles, yes.
Yeah.
Or oblongs or flat lines. We don't know.
You know, it's an octagon waiting to be a 6-sided ring, whatever. So, hey,
Speaking of 6-sided rings or tournaments or
How does that happen?
These are horrible segues. What else is new?
Welcome to Can Crushers.
But the Legacy tournament's over.
Wow. Along with the Legacy tournament going over, we also had another preemptive match that the English professor was hell-bent on, but we'll get to that. Macho Man winning it all. I'm all for that. I really am. I think the Poffo family is amazing in that Legacy, but defeating 17 Von Erichs that were in it, the Harts, the Rhodes brothers. Did you see, when we laid this all out, did you see Macho Man running the gamut?
No. Honestly, I thought it was either going to be The Rock because he's one of the hottest superstars to ever come out of WWE. I was surprised by Terry Funk going as far as he was. That was crazy. There was a couple other ones that I didn't really know, like
the Von Erichs, because they
were like old ass wrestlers, and you and John were marking out over like
we were.
Oh my God, I remember him wrestling this guy in this Dayton. He was at WrestleMania 1. Did I tell you I was at WrestleMania 1?
He was at WrestleMania 1. He was. And he'll let you know over and over and over again. I think he was a popcorn vendor during WrestleMania 1 as well. I'm not sure. But, congratulations to the Macho Man. We already have our next one in the hopper, and we'll release it maybe in a week or two. We'll iron some things out.
We probably should let this whole wrestling thing settle down, so we're settled down.
Plus, we have predictions next week, so we're not going to do that on top of predictions because it'll be a longer show. So,
what about this specialty match that you were talking about?
I was just going to say, the impromptu match, I don't know if you voted.
I didn't even know if I seen it.
You had to have. Our Royal Rumble winner match came to a draw when we had that tournament, and I thought Ric Flair won it, and some people had said no, The Undertaker won it. Well, the English professor went back 7 months via Facebook, busy at work, and found that it ended in a draw. A Royal Rumble ended in a draw, that match.
That's happened before.
So, he put up the match, Ric Flair against The Undertaker. It was out there. Didn't get a huge amount of votes, but I'll tell you, Mrs. Can Crusher, and I didn't vote until late, Mrs. Can Crusher decided who won it. It was going in at 8 o'clock yesterday morning or Friday morning or whatever, 9-9, Mrs. Can Crusher voted for Ric Flair to put it 10-9.
Woo!
So Ric Flair is now our Royal Rumble winner.
Finally.
I'm all right with that.
Finally a decisive winner.
Right. We're all about decisiveness. This tie business. Not happening here.
I love when it ties because you freak the hell out.
Yeah, I know.
So we're going to get into Raw and SmackDown after OVW report.
Because I don't have anybody to go to anymore and say, hey, Mom, I need you to break the tie.
Right? Maybe I'll just hold my votes back now.
We're all holding our votes back anymore.
Right.
Now it's just up to you guys to vote because we're just going to continue holding ours back.
And I will just wait until it's like 22-23, and then I'll be like, 23-23. Ha ha!
OVW report coming up. We'll be back with Raw and SmackDown. Oh, it feels so good to be back giving the OVW report. OVW has been on fire since Fight for Freedom. It has been insane. We have a new TV champion in the form of Category 5, Corey Storm. People are now making their way to OVW. Al Snow, Chad Miller blowing this up. It's unbelievable. But let's talk about, excuse me, I'm so excited I'm losing my voice. I was screaming all night as I was watching this. But let's dive right into OVW for this week. And it starts out to be Amon against William Lutz. And Amon is just screaming for Simbodi. He wants Simbodi because if you guys have watched Fight for Freedom on the OVW network, which is only $4.99 a month, guys, this is like a stretcher match, and it went insane. You had fire. You have to go and watch this on the OVW network. So nonetheless, Amon is just screaming for Sin Bodhi, and Lutz tries to use his quickness, but Amon hits him off the ropes, goes to the top. The bell finally rings. And Ashton Cove comes out, and it's just nonsense. Amon is just going apeshit on everybody, taking him out, saying that he wants Sin Bodhi again. Everything finally comes back around, and like, people are already eliminated. Boom, thrown out. This is the way they started OVW this week. It's boom. Craziness. Welcome to live TV. Craziness for OVW. But it comes down to Category 5, Corey Storm and Dimes. And the winner of this will be the TV champion. In this match, guys, I don't even want to spoil it because it's a 5-star match. Get on the OVW network and watch it. Find it on YouTube. Just get out there and watch it. Because these two youngsters are going to continue to build up OVW and then tear the MFing roof off because they are so good. Category 5, Corey Storm defeats Dimes to keep his OVW TV championship. Next up on the docket is Hip Hop Vivi comes out, and she is going to fight a new face in OVW, Max the Impaler. And Max the Impaler is on her way for Megan Bayne. I'm telling you that right now. Bayne, you better watch out. The Impaler laid waste to Hip Hop Vivi in seconds. See you later. This beast is coming after Bayne, and I cannot wait to see this battle. Dean Hill comes out to the ring, and he announces that the Nightmare Cup is coming back, and the tournament's going to start over the next couple weeks, but it's all going to culminate October 29th in Bourbon Hall, and the winners, will get a shot at the tag team championships like they did last year when King's Ransom won and everything. Well, the Legacy of Brutality comes out and says, hey, why aren't you talking about us? Why aren't you talking about us? Dean Hill's like, because you guys are tag team champions. You are already in this. Everybody knows about you. You don't need to be talked about. Well, Josh Ashcraft goes nuts and he says, no. We need to be the most talked about thing on OVW. And I'm not going to blame him. You got Jay Bradley. You got Big Zo. You got the Hood Ninja. You have Cash Flow. And these guys are running amok. These are the biggest team out there. I mean, they are massive men. So they're just looking to take over OVW. And King's Ransom comes out because Dean Hill says, guess what? The tournament's starting right now. Well, King's Ransom has to lay waste to all 4 of them. And they do. I don't know if you've heard any of the prior episodes of this, but go back. I am so high on King's Ransom that they did get a scholarship to attend the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. That, guys, if you want to know more about that, you can head to Al Snow Wrestling Academy, or you can shoot us an email, and I can kind of guide you through some things as well and get you in contact with the people you need to know about the Al Snow Wrestling Academy. Great partners with Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. But King's Ransom is the next biggest tag team on the horizon. They're amazing, guys. They really are. Everything they do it right. They are a great team. They lay waste to the Legacy of Brutality and get the win. And then, more or less to close the show, the OVW Heavyweight Champion comes out, and it's Justin Smooth. Oh, sorry. It's Hollywood Smooth. And he says, hey, I am defeating everybody. Throwing an open challenge out. Anybody in the locker room wants to come out. The whole locker room comes out. And then he finally says, all right, I'm going to pick somebody. And he picks AJZ to fight. And boom, big boot, and, match is over. To close the show, everybody's still out there. Dean Hill, the commish, grabs a mic and says, I'll pick your opponent next week. Guys, OVW is so hot right now. They continue to grow more and more and more. Like I said, as Paul and I said minutes ago, they are transitioning over to Tuesday nights If you want to watch it, make sure you get on the OVW network, $4.99 a month. If you're in Kentucky, in Louisville itself, it is right there on the TV for you. Again, on October 29th, it is the Tuesday Night Frightmare, and at the Bourbon Hall, the cup will come to an end, and the announcement is Gangrel will be there. Unbelievable stuff. People are coming left and right into OVW. Make sure you watch it. Right after the break, Paul and I jump on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the show goes downhill from there. But nonetheless, here's our buddy Al Snow talking about Collar and Elbow, one of our great sponsors.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey guys, this is Dimes. You are listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
So, Paul, we said Raw and SmackDown before we went to break and had all our promos and OVW report and everything, but now the segment is Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and it's, a briefing anymore. It's not going to dive into each match and say, oh my God, did you see Shelton Benjamin fought, I don't know, Barry Horowitz?
Barry Horowitz.
Right? We're not going to dive into matches like that. We're going to brief over everything that's happened on the shows and then just transition so we get everything in. And I'm going to ask you on the air now, because I should have asked you off the air. Do you want to continue to break it down like we're going to have a WWE segment, then we'll have an AEW segment, and then just break it down like that? I don't want to mosh everything together.
I almost think that we should do that because you can't mosh everything together. I don't know, when I'm talking about stuff, if I'm talking about one decisive thing and then the next decisive thing comes into my brain.
And then it's undecisive.
Then everything's undecisive, so then we're confused. And if I'm listening to something, I'll be like, wait, weren't they just talking about Raw, and now how are they talking about Cody Rhodes? I don't understand that.
Right.
So I think we should go Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Because you gotta brute that whole thing.
Brute it together.
Smush.
Oh.
Smash.
Compile.
Composite?
Composite? No, composite is not putting things together. Composite is maybe the act of having things put together. We're gonna get all blown up on this.
Yeah,
hopefully everybody.
Yeah,
we talk. We don't research shit before.
When Mark's like, "Hey, we're gonna go into Raw and SmackDown," I'm like, "You're gonna have to start everything because I don't remember much of it." But when you said something, I'll remember.
And that's what I said. Notes. So let's just start with what is hot right now on Raw and SmackDown, and it is Sasha, Becky, Bayley, and Charlotte. Come on. I don't care if you think The Fiend's hotter. Truly, the women are carrying both shows right now, I feel.
See, now, here's where we differ, because I don't think it's hot, because I am so tired of seeing Charlotte Flair. And hearing about Sasha Banks.
I love
She took 8 months off and decided that, I'm just going to come back and now I'm in the title hunt. That's not fair to anybody on the roster. Charlotte does the same thing. And Bayley was all, when I become the SmackDown Women's title holder, I'm going to change things. I'm going to give people that don't normally have a shot. And then all of a sudden, Charlotte Flair comes back and, Charlotte gets another shot. And another shot. And another shot.
Yet he has nothing.
And I feel like DJ Kali, I'm like, and another one. And another one.
Shot.
Nah.
But did you notice Paul did have something to say about it? He started to get a little angry, so it's working.
No,
the whole Charlotte, the whole Sasha thing coming back is.
You know where I'll be at I'll be watching something else that when the girls come on from now
You're
on.
crazy. You are. That's lies. Those are so lies, because if anything, you're here to goat me on, to say, oh, did you see that? Oh, and it's lies. You are not going to turn it off when those booties come bouncing past the TV.
So, in this match, it was, Monday night was Carmella and Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
So, Banks hits the bank statement on, let's turn this around. Charlotte hits the figure 8 on...
No, it was Sasha against Nikki Cross.
Oh,
Sorry.
that was Monday night. Tuesday. I'm thinking about Tuesday night.
Yeah.
See, and this is where we get jumbled.
Well, this is because we just didn't read the notes exactly. Maybe we'll start going back to paper notes so you can actually read what I'm writing.
That's all right.
Okay, then. So Sasha with Bayley, and Nikki comes out with Alexa, and Nikki controlled 95% of this match until, Sasha flipped her over, boom, bank statement, match over. But then they beat on Alexa. Fans are now cheering for Alexa.
Right.
One of the most hated superstars for years. They now love her, which that is what they want. That is what they're doing with Sasha and Bayley. And I think this is a great storyline to go a long way. This is something, go back to old NWA, and you're like, oh, shut up, old man. But go back to old NWA when a storyline could go 6 months, and it just continued to grow and grow and grow, and then there was a culmination match. The downfall about this is, your next pay-per-view is called Hell in the Cell against Becky and Sasha. That's Hell in a Cell. It's been finals matches forever.
Right.
How do you continue Sasha and Becky after this? I don't know if you can. So predictions coming next week, but I think there's going to be a major change. You want to talk about the other hot thing, and it's fun in a house with fireflies.
No, I don't want to talk about that. I just don't. We can talk about that later, but this whole Becky and Sasha thing is, I don't understand how they're going to do this. And like you said, I'm confused, because where do they go next?
I don't know, because they all hate each other right now. Well, there's two friends and two
friends. But they
are
the original 4 horsewomen of...
We still have 2 months. You know how they push storylines? We still have 2 months before Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going. You're seeing Ronda.
Because there's the 4 horsewomen of MMA, which is Ronda, Baylor, and the 2 other girls that I don't really remember.
Dukes and... Damn it, I forget the other one.
Yeah.
In
NXT. So you have 3 NXT call-ups that you could bring in for the 4. But how do they get all together? Because even Becky and Charlotte hate each other.
They're just dealing with each other right now.
Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right. I agree. I don't know. Other things on Raw. Raw wasn't, to me, that great. They had the 5-man match of Rey Mysterio Jr., Rude, Shinsuke, AJ, and Ricochet. Winner faces Seth next week.
For the title.
For the title.
Season premiere of Raw.
Right.
And this was a good match. And I did not see Rey Mysterio winning this match.
I didn't either. I thought, man, they're going to give Ricochet another shot.
Yeah.
I didn't see it AJ because AJ's got his hand in other things. Shinsuke, again, hands in other things. Rude. He's a champ, but I'm like, maybe? Because it would be a different match.
Right. A better way to... I'm going to like watching Seth and Rey Mysterio, even though I already know how it ends.
Right. We both do, I think.
Yes. Robert Roode would have been a good match, too.
Did you have Mr. Olsen as a teacher? Doesn't Robert Roode look like
With
Mr.
that cookie duster on his face? Absolutely.
Yeah. That is brought to you by the Mrs. English Professor, the owner of the penitentiary down in Pittsburgh. She's brought that up a couple times, saying that he looked like a substitute teacher. So yeah, we think Ray's going to get attacked by the Fiend, right?
We know that Ray's getting attacked by the Fiend.
Right, and setting up more for Hell in a Cell.
This will be what I'm excited for. Is there's a possibility of 3 old wrestlers They can get attacked by the Fiend.
Are you
next
calling
Monday.
Ray old?
Yeah, he's a veteran.
He's a veteran. Yeah, I like that word better than old because he can still move.
Yeah, 1 veteran and 2
Senile.
Jurassic Park creatures.
Yeah, set up this Monday is Miz TV, and Hogan and Flair are both going to be back.
Which I'm not excited for, but I am excited for.
I
love Ric Flair.
Woo!
He's exciting. Even at an old man age, he's exciting.
He can still juck and jive.
Hogan, I mean, Hogan's a rough subject for a lot of people.
Right, he is. That's New Day.
Even a lot rough subject for me because you can't be that famous and be that stupid.
Well put. Well put. We'll leave that at that.
Yeah.
How are you that Mella finally gets a 24/7 European Intercontinental TV Western State Heritage 48 7-Eleven Championship finally?
I loved it. And R-Truth loved it.
He did. He gets to take a break now.
Yeah.
Did you see as they were running off, it looked like Mella was supposed to carry him, but she couldn't.
Right.
She there's no way she's nothing against Mella. She couldn't lift him up. So they hurry up and switch, and then R-Truth took her off. The downfall about this whole thing is it should have been Mella winning it as a woman first. She has carried this 24/7 stupidness along with R-Truth. We hate the title. I hate the title.
I love the title.
You love the title.
It's just something different. I would like to see more of not in the ring people chasing them. Like, they'd be walking somewhere and all of a sudden there's somebody in a referee.
Boom! You get hit with a pizza pan.
Right, and craziness. Like, that would be more fun than
just the running.
Yeah.
To my point is now the women are going to start chasing Mella. You saw Sarah Logan back. You saw Billie Kay. You saw a couple other ones running.
Do you remember watching Baywatch?
Yeah. Nice. That's not where I was going.
That's where you're going.
I was not going that way. These women could have chased a 24/7 champ
the whole time.
Before.
Yeah.
So,
it's every wrestler.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of that.
Yeah, but I want to see more of the crazy. I think they could turn this back into, not that I was a huge fan of the hardcore title, but they could change it more into that, where you get mollywomped with something. Like, I'd rather see head come thrown out, wham, and Al Snow picks up the win, or, a leg coming from nowhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Seth Rollins against Braun.
Ended how we figured it was going to end.
Yeah.
We hear the Fiend's music, and all of a sudden, my favorite part of this is Braun Strowman wasn't afraid.
No.
Where is he? Is all you hear in the darkness, and then all of a sudden you hear, and then it's Mandible Claw, and you see Braun in the middle of the ring, just being decimated by the Mandible Claw.
Do you asked me this, but I'm going to spin it back around on you. Do you see Bray Wyatt ever wrestling again?
I don't. Here's how I picture this whole scenario. Bray Wyatt is the carrier of the Fiend. So, like, with the Firefly Funhouse.
What?
Firefly Funhouse.
F you, Mark.
If he's in the back, he's Bray Wyatt. And then when he gets to the ring, now he's the Fiend. I don't know how long it takes to put on that mask. I don't know how long it takes to put everything together. Like, because you're not going to see Bray Wyatt come down and wrestle in a sweater vest.
No, it would be great, though.
Oh, my God, he'd die.
I'm
a big boy myself. That would be horrible.
Yeah, it would be. I love sweater vests, though. I need to get more of those. Maybe I can...
We need to bring back the old school Mean Street Posse look.
Yes! Well, there's enough of us now.
Right?
We could...
That's what we should go with this
Halloween.
Halloween. I'll go with some Mean Street Posse.
Would you be upset if I wore a sweater vest to your wedding?
No.
Would T be upset?
No, she'd love it.
So I can wear khakis and a polo and a sweater vest.
Yeah, as long as you don't have that stupid bow tie you always wear.
All right, well... well, that's out the window.
Never mind, I'm not wearing a sweater vest. I
like my bow tie. T would let me wear my bow tie, so shut up.
Sure.
All right, on to SmackDown. It's Roman, Daniel, and this whole storyline has been botched. It's just been thrown out. What happened to the guy?
I love it because, well, I think the guy was just a pawn. But I love it, and I think that you're going to see Daniel switch
back.
But because...
It's all mental games, is what you're saying.
I think it's all a big mental game.
I like that Luke Harper is back. For how long, though?
Well, I mean, he's got to finish out his contract. and he was hurt, so they tacked on
90 more days.
Yeah, or
days
something
or
like
something
that.
like that. Yeah.
I love it. I actually do love this because from the beginning you thought it was going to be a Daniel Bryan Roman thing, and then all of a sudden they switched it up on you. Did you foresee Rowan being the bad guy in all of this?
Well, he is a bad guy.
Yeah, but the
main guy, the brains behind this. Well, he was, smarter than Daniel in a couple times. What I don't understand is Daniel he lied with my air quotes, and he, boom, instantly face turned.
Right.
Just because of that, he gets pissed off and just...
Well, but he's the guy that they wanted, that even the heels they hate. You know what I mean? Like, not just being the bad guy was enough. He wants to be the bad guy the bad guys don't like.
So, speaking of bad guys, I'll touch on that as I posted it earlier today, but we should have covered this, but we'll cover it after SmackDown as well. No, I agree with you on this. I actually do. I just think they need to tie up some loose ends on this whole story. I don't know, the stuff being pushed over and this and that. Like, nothing ever happened. You just found out, that Rowan did it, but... Yeah.
Where did the guy... We want to see where Rowan lookalike went.
Yeah, I want some of the...
Who was Rowan lookalike?
It was shelved for a week. Like, Roman wasn't on for a week when we were off, say. It was shelved for a week that nothing happened, and then the next week Daniel comes out and, hey, me and Roman are BFFs. We're going to Dairy Queen tonight. No? All right.
I didn't remember that part.
All right. I don't like the whole Mike Kanellis thing going on.
No, it's dumb.
It's stupid. This is the match where you get Mella and Flair, and you had a lot to say about this. Mella and Flair against the legit badass huggers. I want you to say your piece about Charlotte, and it makes perfect sense.
So here's why I don't. This majorly switched me onto not being on Charlotte's bandwagon anymore. So Charlotte gets not Becky, but Bayley in the figure eight, and Sasha comes in and breaks it up. So the match keeps going.
Good tag team moves.
Yeah, good tag team moves. Carmella gets the tag in. Carmella's doing great.
Red hot.
Yeah, flying through super kicks after super kicks, and all of a sudden she's in the bank statement. So in the camera angle, you see Carmella in the bank statement, and Charlotte Flair is just standing on the apron.
Picking her nose.
Right, not doing it, just watching. And then when Carmella taps, she's mad about it.
Get in and break it up.
Exactly.
Sell it a little bit more.
Or sell that you're hurt and you can't break it up.
Right. But Bayley was out on, not that Bayley needed to be involved in this, but Bayley was knocked out, so she couldn't come and help detract Charlotte away.
Yeah.
So it would have been perfect.
So Charlotte just stands on the ring apron. Not many people probably would have noticed that.
We do.
But wrestling fans...
We dig into the stupidest things.
Yeah. But a pure wrestling fan would be like, why is she just standing there?
Yeah. Didn't even care.
No. She didn't even care that she took the loss. And she didn't take the loss, but as a tag team, her team took the loss.
So her and Mella are not number one contenders to the tag team titles right now.
Kabuki Warriors now, right?
No. It's still Alexa and Nikki.
Oh, yeah.
Kabuki Warriors, I would believe, are going to be the next to hold those titles. But the whole Ali Shinsuke match and New Day, I was happy to see B Team, go, go, go back. Have it be them getting their ass beat by New Day. But there's just... I'm actually excited about this draft coming up. I think there needs to be a new shakeup, and I want this to be...
But a for sure split.
Sure.
And this is going to be there is no crossing over.
No, because... And The Miz is staying on Raw. I would lay a paycheck on it.
Right, because The Miz and Mrs. is on there, and it's a big deal, and yes, you keep The Miz on Raw.
Fox is not sponsoring that anytime soon. Even if, The Miz ends up on SmackDown and he says, hey, don't forget to watch Miz and Mrs., Fox is going to edit that out on the spot.
Right.
Not happening. Fox is going to take this so serious. USA is still going to play and do whatever. USA's been advertising AE dubs during Raw. So they're taking money however they can get it. Fox is like, we got NFL money. We have Major League Baseball money. We're going to get WWE money. We don't need a reality show money.
Right.
We have our own.
And none of them are any good.
And none of them are any good. Wrapping up SmackDown as it's going to be Shane against KO in a ladder match for a contract or this, that, and the other thing.
Shane's done with wrestling if he loses.
For how long? WrestleMania? Royal Rumble?
Well, of course.
You're not going to see him. I think he gets over past Survivor Series, which is the next big one. And then once you get after Survivor Series, it's a long road. 2 months until we get the Royal Rumble. I mean, it gets rough during that time.
It's stale.
Yeah, stale's the best word for it. Yeah,
it gets stale.
Stale. So I'm all right with Shane being gone. The English Professor is going to be stoked, but I think it's going to add something to KO, and I think you see KO come back to Raw. I want to talk about, is it in 2 weeks, the draft? I think we should do a prediction draft as well. I mean,
we could do a fake draft.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it could be very hokey. I mean, there's a lot that we know we're going to, Brock Lesnar's going to SmackDown. Done.
Not 100% yet.
100%.
No, it's not.
100%.
It's not 100% yet.
Okay.
Because, didn't you read anything?
No, I don't know how to
Brock Lesnar still wants to be a part-time wrestler, and...
You can be a part-time wrestler still on SmackDown.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
They don't need to have him come on SmackDown and make an announcement during on NFL now that they're showing SmackDown coming. So you're watching your Cowboys against the Giants, and all of a sudden Brock Lesnar, an emoji walks across that he's coming, he's going to be on SmackDown. I'm turning the freaking game off. Yeah. First of all, I'm not watching the Giants and Cowboys.
I'm not watching Brock Lesnar either.
I'm not watching Brock Lesnar either. But the NFL fan that hasn't been adapted to or up to date on what's going on with wrestling
knows Brock Lesnar.
It's a whole nother wraparound.
Yeah.
So, NXT we'll touch on real quick because I said we watched it. I didn't like the split show. I really only watched what was on the USA Network because, not that it's a process, but it's a process that I don't want. So now that it's on USA, I'm happy. I put it on one TV. I don't have to turn PlayStation on. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that to get to...
First world problems.
Yeah, it is a first world problem. I'm stoked. And I'm going to call out one of the Can Crusher fans. He's like, hey, what do you see on NXT when it comes to USA? I said, I see the Undisputed Era running amok. And he's like, not going to happen. Well, Mr. Daniel Robinson, do you see who has all the titles? That would be the Undisputed Era. So they are running amok on NXT right now. Just the matches that are on. Keith Lee, unbelievable. Glad to see that Dakota Kai is back following her injury. She had some great moves. Both of these guys had educated feet in their matches. But in Baszler against Candice LeRae is this week as well. So 2 huge title matches coming up. Riddle fought Killian Dane in a street fight. And the winner faces Adam Cole.
Baby!
This week on USA NXT Premier Season beginning, whatever the hell.
Everything's season premiere this week for WWE.
Right. 30 years in. So Riddle gets the win. And Adam Cole's now been taking off of house shows, as I posted, because he's hurt. Some say it's a legit injury. Some say it's not a legit injury. With this going, Undisputed Era having all the titles, even you haven't watched it, I just want to say to you, is this the right time to take it off Adam Cole? Or do you leave Adam Cole run with this title with Undisputed Era for a while to show that they're the dominant team in NXT?
I don't think that you could take it off of them, and I don't think that Matt Riddle is going to stay on NXT.
Ooh, what?
Well, I mean, this boy has been
hot. He's white hot,
right? And he's been tweeting up a storm. He wants to face Brock Lesnar. Blah 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 blah. So if you're a wrestling fan and you actually want to see that, does he lose on Wednesday? Friday, come in and...
Oh my God! Yeah, because
Save
Brock
Kofi Kingston.
and punch Brock in the face.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I've been doing my math.
Not your English, though.
I've been doing my mathises, and I knows that it adds up.
Did you actually read that, or did you think of this yourself?
This is my thought up. This is my brain.
Wow, that's brilliant.
It would be brilliant, so it was probably not going to happen.
But you're blowing my mind. That's great.
Have you noticed that some of the stuff we talk about on the podcast
Happens a month later.
Yes.
Somebody's listening, Stanford.
Maybe, and I'm okay with it, but throws a couple bones here, man.
A shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
3X and 2X, please. I mean, I would like a Sonya Deville shirt. I love put your hair up and square up. I love that. I love Sonya.
And I'll take Mandy Rose's shirt.
See?
Her actual shirt.
We are Fire and Desire ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
I like Golden Gloves better, but whatever.
I do. They just won't stick with that.
No. That's probably a copyright infringement, so.
Probably. I'm sure it is. So there's Golden Gloves of boxing for years.
Yeah.
So, all right. That's the way that we're going to run it. Next week, we'll take a break in between this, go to AEW as well. A lot to go, and I like this that we're going. We're really not going to dive in. If something happens in a big match, we'll stop and like, holy Christ, did you see that match?
Right.
But we're just going to hover over things and give us, it's going to be thoughts. Coming up is this guy. I recorded with the English professor, and my lord, does he have a lot to say this week.
Oh, great. Class is in session. I'm putting my head down now.
Shortly after what would be his retirement match at WrestleMania 6, in which he and his tag team partner Haku would drop the WWF World Tag Team titles back to Demolition, Andre the Giant appeared on Captain Lou Albano's short-lived version of UWF. In a promotion, the Eighth Wonder of the World held a WWF LJN figure of his WrestleMania 1 opponent, Big John Studd, and tore it in half. If you've ever used one of these dolls as a weapon, you know that they can create lumps the size of what you would see on Tom's head after Jerry smacks him with a hammer. Aimed properly, they can also render a sibling completely unconscious. With a simple twist of his wrists, Andre tore Studd in two at the waist. That was all Vince needed to see. The WWF chairman offered Andre a lucrative contract to stay at home and make some very rare appearances on WWF TV and pay-per-views. He was the corner man for the Big Boss Man, as the Law, Order, and Justice of the World Wrestling Federation challenged Mr. Perfect for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 7. Andre cracked Kurt Hennig in the head with the gold belt, but that still wasn't enough for Boss Man to score the win. Now that he was no longer a member of the Heenan family, Andre had several suitors looking to hire him for their respective stables, but in each case, to the delight of the fans, Andre refused. Slick tried to impress Andre with a hot car that he said would be plated in gold. Yo, my main man, Andre, what it is? Slick asked as he showed the Giant his new car. As the Slickster went down the list of his stable members, which included Hercules and Warlord, Andre threw the Doctor style into the trunk and told the driver, "Next stop, New Jersey." Andre the Giant was sitting at the bar having some drinks with Arnold Skolin and Pat Patterson when sensational Sherry spotted him. She ran her lace-gloved hands over Andre's face and promised him anything he wanted if she could be his manager. Andre's eyes got wide as he asked, "Anything?" "Anything," Sherry assured him. "Anything you want." Andre bent her over the bar and spanked her, drawing laughs from Arnie and the first Intercontinental Champion. But then it seemed that someone finally got through to Andre the Giant and had secured his services. Jimmy Hart was looking for a partner for Earthquake. His goal was to put together the largest team in the history of the WWF, bigger than Studd and King Kong Bundy, and definitely bigger than Andre and his tag team championship partner, despite their name being the Colossal Connection. Fans were stunned when the Mouth of the South and Andre walked to the ring together, but the Giant restored their faith in his full face turn when he grabbed the scrawny little runt by his jacket. It looked as though Andre would work over another villainous manager, but Earthquake came up from behind and drove the megaphone into Andre's knee. Andre clutched his leg and timbered to one side like an oak tree. The Earthquake dropped elbow after elbow on Andre's leg. leaving the man who had gone undefeated for 15 years lying in a heap and unable to leave the ring on his own. Jimmy Hart and Earthquake got their man on the next episode of Primetime Wrestling. Tugboat, Hulk Hogan's best friend at the time, walked onto the set and joined Hart and Earthquake. His name was now Typhoon, and the team would be known as the Natural Disasters. To solidify his heel turn, the former Tugboat smashed a Hulk Hogan toy phone on the studio floor to a chorus of boos from the audience. At SummerSlam, the Natural Disasters would face their stiffest competition to date in the form of the Bushwhackers. Andre the Giant, walking with crutches, stood in the corner of the former Sheepherders. Luke and Butch put on a competitive, believable, entertaining match. And even though we all knew this was a match designed to get the Natural Disasters over as a monster heel team, there were moments when I thought the New Zealanders would pull off the win. They almost did, except Earthquake lifted Cousin Butch over his head outside the ring and drove him across his knee for a backbreaker. Earthquake made his way into the ring where Cousin Luke was putting the fists to Typhoon. Earthquake got a running start and sandwiched the Bushwhacker against Typhoon. Earthquake hit the ropes and dropped the Earthquake sit-down splash for the win. Then the Natural Disasters, upon the orders of their manager Jimmy Hart, surrounded Andre the Giant outside the ring. Andre leaned on one crutch as he jabbed his other crutch in the direction of Hart's newest team. But it didn't look good. Even in his prime, Earthquake and Typhoon would have been too much for Andre. Fortunately for him, help arrived in the form of the Legion of Doom. Hawk and Animal stood in front of Andre and dared the Disasters to make a move. Perhaps fatigued from their match with the Bushwhackers, perhaps intimidated by the LOD, the Disasters thought better of things and went back to the locker room. Butch put his arm around his cousin's waist and helped him to the locker room with the Road Warriors and Andre close by. The Warriors were heading to the locker room to prepare for their tag team title match against Hart's other team, the Nasty Boys. During an interview with the Nasty Boys, Hart lamented the interference of the LOD while also assuring us that his lawyer would bail the Mountie out of the New York City Slammer following his jailhouse match loss to the Big Boss Man. Jimmy Hart was the busiest manager at that SummerSlam, and all of his angles intertwined like a plot in an elaborate play. There were visual details during the course of the evening that helped the event's story, as well as establish future angles, like the Road Warriors helping the Bushwhackers by fending off the Natural Disasters just before their match against the Nasty Boys. It was Vince's not-so-subtle way of telling us the WWF had some great teams. Andre the Giant had a part to play. His appearance wasn't just for nostalgia's sake. It was a cog in the machine that allowed Vince to say, "Hey, look at all of my great teams." Just days later, Andre appeared on WCW's Clash of the Champions 20. It was also the 20th anniversary of WCW on Superstation TBS, connecting Ted Turner's WCW to Jim Crockett Promotions Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, dating back to 1972. A move which certainly still infuriates a certain JCP Facebook page. Much like when he slapped Sherry in the ass, Andre was at the bar drinking with some of the other legends. He didn't have much to say other than a thank you for being invited. But even this seemingly meaningless appearance held certain value for WCW's show. Was it a telegram from Atlanta to New York? Perhaps. Rumor has it Vince was furious and berated Andre over the phone, making him feel terrible about taking this invitation so soon after being involved in a major WWF story. But even if it wasn't meant to fire shots, seeing Andre and all of those other retired wrestlers gave pro wrestling a real sport feel. It was like a former pitcher and a retired slugger doing commentary for a game and discussing their careers against one another. Wrestling is about good guys and bad guys, and it's always to be continued. But seeing the good guys and bad guys sitting together and having some laughs brought to mind a Kerry Von Erich quote when a reporter approached him in Dallas to challenge pro wrestling's legitimacy. "There's showmanship," the modern-day Warrior said, "but wrestling isn't fake." So maybe these guys did hate each other back in their working days. Maybe they played up the interviews a little when they made their threats of the impending doom awaiting their opponents. But the fights were real, and in the end, now that they were retired, they could take it easy and share some memories about their wars and life on the road. Tomorrow night, The Miz, host of the most must-see TV show, will have Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan as his guests. Why? This is another attempt to use wrestling legends to recapture lost or casual fans. Wrestling has always brought retired wrestlers back in some capacity. Andre the Giant is an example. But in each case, the retired wrestler had a reason to come back, a purpose. Bruno Sammartino's return was treated as something for the sake of nostalgia, but it was anything but that. A casual enough Piper's Pit with a living legend led to ethnic slurs and a wild brawl, which then led to bloody cage matches. Bruno, standing in his son's corner at WrestleMania 1, which, for those of you who are unaware, I attended, was to serve as a precautionary measure to keep Luscious Johnny from interfering as David battled Brutus Beefcake. Of course, the valiant brother and former WWF World Tag Team Champion did get involved, and Bruno saw no alternative but to defend his son, which in turn led to tag team matches between the father-son duo and manager-wrestler tandem. It's unlikely that the Hulkster will be in a wrestler's corner for a title match Monday night. Ric Flair probably won't be there to support a team against the new powerhouse duo. Instead, he'll strut while Hulk says, "Well, let me tell you something, brother," to a smattering of applause. The Can Crushers met the Nature Boy at a couple of local wrestling events. We had the opportunity to meet Hulk Hogan also, but after seeing the prices for his pictures and autographs, we determined that food for our children was more important. Neither time we met Ric Flair was he involved in any storyline. He took the microphone and serenaded a lady in the audience. Bret Hart also did an autograph signing and photo op and later stood in the corner of his nephew, Harry Smith, as he battled RJ City. But even if the wrestling legend isn't involved in a storyline like the Hitman was, smaller promotions like IWC and Big Time Wrestling can get away with inviting a retired wrestler for nostalgia's sake. Plus, in every instance, the retired wrestler is selling merchandise and signing autographs, and most of the time they're willing to have a conversation and answer our questions, and therein lies a purpose for their appearance. Tomorrow night on Raw, Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair likely won't be as approachable as they are on the independent scene. They likely won't be involved in any storyline, although I hope I'm wrong. Their appearances will be nothing more than any of the reunion shows we've recently seen in which many of the retired wrestlers are given opportunities to rehash their tired catchphrases. Several years ago, Ric Flair said that the wrestling business was starving for someone to come along and make a big impact. He said there were guys waiting to put on great matches with someone new. There's no greater proof of WWE starving for a star than the fact that they keep bringing Flair back. Bleacher Report ran an article a few days ago about how the WWE hasn't produced a major star in a very long time. Seth Rollins is wildly popular with fans, and this is evidenced by the reaction we hear every time he comes to the ring. We can almost feel the fans take a deep breath when Seth's music hits so that they may shout out with all of their might, "Burn it down!" But Rollins lacks crossover ability and the potential to bring in new fans. I respect Roman Reigns because he's committed to the wrestling profession. Even though he recently did a movie with The Rock in which he and his cousin play, well, Roman Reigns and The Rock, Reigns has dedicated himself to being a wrestler first. That's admirable, but in my opinion, while Reigns can hold the attention of young fans, I don't think he possesses the necessary charisma to attract more fans. When I took an acting class in 2000, our instructor had us choose monologues out of a variety of books that we would later perform. Seeing one young man struggle and eager to get him to loosen up, the instructor told him he could do any monologue he wanted from any form of entertainment. The student asked her if he could recite a Rock interview. "I don't know if you know who he is," he told our instructor, to which she replied, "Oh, please, I know The Rock. I know the people's elbow." At the next class, the kid was telling Kurt Angle to "shut your mouth, punk." At my job, the range of wrestling fan goes from hardcore to casual to never having seen a pro wrestling match. And yet a group of us, after having success at work, will let the others know of our achievements by belting out the John Cena intro. When we hear, "Ow!" or "dun dun dun dun," we know someone closed a sale or helped a customer. Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin were household names because of their wrestling careers. Even though Rocky III helped the Hulkster gain mainstream fame, his personality and charisma were enough for him to reach superstardom, with or without Thunderlips. I can't imagine it's easy to be a mainstream star in the wrestling business. It takes the right person with the right push. That's not to say those wrestlers don't exist. Becky Lynch has perfected the man and is primed for major fame. If she weren't, she would not have caught the attention of Ric Flair, who is suing over the rights to the man. But it takes the right people to recognize the potential and put the machine behind it. Perhaps Vince doesn't possess that magic anymore. Perhaps some of his critics are right in saying Vince never created a major star. But that's okay. Engineers don't typically invent things. They take things and make them better. Perhaps Vince is sort of a wrestling engineer. There are writers and there are editors. Not everyone can be both. Not everyone can edit Mark's college papers while also creating writing brilliance of his own, like the English professor. And this is another reason why competition may be a good thing. Perhaps the talented mind of Cody Rhodes will create a character who is not quite finished, who will then find his or her way to WWE to be polished by Vince. Or maybe he'll put polka dots on him. In the meantime, we look forward to The Miz, who is a talented worker and talker, doing his best to fill airtime with Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. The result will probably be an awkward, forced segment that forwards nothing of value. With any luck, a wrestler's music will hit to interrupt the promo and give the Hulkster and Nature Boy a viable storyline moving forward. In today's English Tip of the Week, we'll take a look at commonly misquoted phrases. Bad News Brown was a loner and didn't care if anyone liked him or not. At the WrestleMania 4 Battle Royal, Brown hit Bret Hart with a ghetto blaster and threw him out of the ring for the win. Bret was furious for the betrayal, but Brown didn't care whatsoever. When it came to Hart's feelings, would you say that Bad News Brown could care less or couldn't care less? The answer is B. He couldn't care less. To say he could care less implies that Brown cared at all in the first place. With zero caring, he could not care less. When Rowan tried to murder Roman Reigns recently on Raw, Daniel Bryan blamed a man who looked very similar to Rowan. Was this giant red beard the scapegoat or the scapegoat for Rowan? This one is a bit tougher. The look-alike allowed Rowan to temporarily escape blame, but the answer is A, the scapegoat, which is someone who is blamed for the wrongdoings, mistakes, or faults of others. In another pontification, I covered Ric Flair's face turn, Lex Luger's heel turn, and the craziness that surrounded the number one contender spot to Flair's World Championship. Lex said he was the top contender by virtue of his United States title. The Dragon insisted he was the number one challenger due to being the most recent former champ, and Terry Funk threw his name in the hat by pile-driving Slick Rick on a table. At that point was the conversation to determine Ric Flair's next opponent a mute point or a moot point. The answer is B, a moot point, which is a topic that is up for discussion or debate to which no satisfactory answer can be found. Eventually, they all got their title matches against Space Mountain, but during all of the chaos to determine a worthy competitor, it was a moot point. Finally, when Mr. Perfect pinned Ric Flair with the Perfect Plex on Monday Night Raw in a loser leaves town match, was Ric Flair's WWF career finished for all intensive purposes or for all intents and purposes? Although the dirtiest player in the game was pretty intense following his loss, the answer is once again B, for all intents and purposes, which means in every practical sense, Ric Flair was finished in the WWF. And with that, class,
You're dismissed.
Hi, this is Gio Scott. You're now listening to Can Crushers.
Garbage tip of the week coming
Not
up, Mike.
yet.
But we got to do our stick. But we got to do one more other thing. The fake bad guy.
Oh, yeah, the fake good. See, the English professor had me all wrapped up in other things. The fake Razor Ramon passed away.
I seen that today before I came over. You posted that. If you don't remember this, it was like the fake Razor Ramon and the fake Diesel.
It was as soon as Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, not as soon, but when the Monday Night Wars were going on, went over to WCW, and they wouldn't say his name, but JR, air quote, brings Razor and Diesel back, and they're like, oh my God, we didn't have this whole technology as easy. We're like, how are they going to do both of these? Maybe WWF and WCW are working together because Razor and Diesel are coming back. What? And then these other guys, well, Kane was Diesel.
Yeah.
And I know, but the fake Razor comes over as well. He's actually made a living on that then. He went on to do indie shows, is always dubbed the fake Razor Ramon and everything. But it was posted on Facebook that he passed away, some quick complications and everything. So keep his family in your thoughts and prayers as well. Head over to our Facebook page. You'll be able to read the whole story as well.
Yeah. And you can find, and now we segue right into that from our Facebook page is at CanCrusher69, And our Instagram is at CanCrusher69.
But we'd like to say thank you to some of our sponsors as well.
Pro Printing and Office LLC, 814-834-3006. Whatever
Dave Wall's mom.
Yeah, call Dave Wall's mom. All your printing and office supply needs.
Along with Collar and Elbow. Al Snow has started a apparel business a couple years ago. And
Wrestling apparel for wrestlers.
Right. And you'll get some sweet-ass hoodies, shirts, hats.
I'm sure Mark will play the commercial before all this, so you'll hear what I was trying to say. And Al Snow says it way better than I say it.
The commercial does get played after the OVW.
And guess what we got now, Mark?
We have our own after months, and Al's like, you guys didn't have one? And I'm like, we were working on it.
Right.
And he's like, so when you go to check out now, type in
Can Crushers, all one word, for 10% off.
And it also helps us. We are always being transparent. If you order something from there, you'll get 10% off your order. And we're talking like if your shirt's on discount for $9.99, you're going to get 10% off of that discount as well. It's not they're going to put it back up to the regular value. You get 10% off of the $9.99 shirt, and then you actually help us because some does get kicked back over to us.
A little kickback.
Yeah, so you're actually supporting Can Crushers as well.
You can also type in OVW still.
Yeah, and then you'll help OVW.
Yeah.
If you don't like us,
which I don't blame you.
Right?
We're a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, we're a jagged little pill.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
Wow. Alanis Morissette just got here. Great.
And if you want to send us anything, and Daniel Robinson will probably email us at cancrusher69@gmail.com and say, thanks for calling me out on the show, you ass.
And it's no problem. We can tell you that right now. You can also check out our website. It's https://cancrushers.69.wixsite.com/cancrushers.
And you can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Buzzsprout, iTunes, Google Podcasts, hundreds of places, and we
especially Wrestling Post app.
And we are actually sliding
on WrestlePost app
into
WrestlePost app,
SoundCloud as
well.
Oh,
I forgot. I'm just tearing Mark's big announcement apart.
But that's all right. SoundCloud is now working with them. We have one episode up already, and it is Moms. That's the one I submitted to them first. I don't know if we're going to put all the weekly shows on that, or if that's just going to be another outlet for
spotlights,
which
is a good idea
to bounce back and forth and everything. So it might just be the spotlight show, but remembering Helen Martinez, Mama Can Crusher is up. So
up and running. You can also find us on the WrestlePost app, which is an app on your iPhone or Android. Go into the Play Store or iTunes Store and search WrestlePost app.
And you'll be able to find bookings.
No matter where you are, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, even in North Dakota.
Yes, where Seth Rollins' parents don't live.
Right. But somebody's parents do.
Somebody has to be there.
So we're going to go month by month on our docket now as what's going up compared to, hey, 6 months down the line, we're going to be this, that, and the other. I've done that.
Mark really likes to tell everybody about what's going to happen.
Yeah, so this Saturday, in 6 days, several of us will be at IWC Unbreakable in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. Huge main event. 6 guys on a ladder. Winner gets Jackson Argos for a title shot in the future. Unbelievable. Hellfire and brimstone. Shit's going to happen. We do get to see Jimmy Nuts, Andrew Palace, Vegas, Pollock. It's an all-star lineup in this main event.
Craziness.
It is.
I'd be excited.
And I can't wait to see the Plumbers as well. I love them.
On October 12th is the 10th anniversary IWC in Clearfield, Pennsylvania, which is real close to us.
Nobody's going from Can Crushers.
No, yeah, which is sad.
Unless
T decides to move up her wedding 2 hours.
Her wedding.
Our wedding. Her wedding for 2 hours, and then we could all make it down there, tuxes and all. We'd be the best dressed IWC fans ever.
Right. And this is where I want to stop a second and call out Justin Plummer. This is exactly where we have told the masses when we are getting married months in advance.
Right.
Months in advance. My wedding, Justin Plummer schedules wrestling in Clearfield.
Which is right in our wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse. Boom. 45 minutes we're there. We can have some libations.
Good eats.
Yeah.
Some good drinks.
And we're good. No, he schedules it 2 years ago in November. On my anniversary. On my wedding day, nonetheless.
Fast forward 2 years.
Boom!
Again, we've been talking about October 12th as a wedding day. And in all fairness, I did say October 21st a lot.
Yeah, well, you did.
But it's October 12th. And now there's another IWC in Clearfield on our wedding day.
Yeah, unbelievable, Plummer. Unbelievable.
You did this on purpose. It's not like we're not going to stop driving down to Pittsburgh because we get Permane Brothers and good eats and good foods and good beers every time we go down
Throw us a
there.
bone one time.
Yeah, come on, man.
The
next show you'll have in Clearfield will be Christmas Day. And guess who can't make that either? Because we all got families.
Yeah, good job. Jason Dixon will be there as Elf.
October 24th is Wrestle Rex, the Rex Theater in Pittsburgh.
It's on the south side. Dude, this place is a fraternity party with wrestling.
Right.
Sam Adonis holds this, and he brings in anybody that's anybody. He really does.
I can see Gangrel going to be there, and Facade. And hey, listen, you say tomato, I say tomato. You say facade, I say facade.
And LA Park will be there as well from MLW. So we will get Chad back on next week to have our MLW. Still ironing out when I need to get people up here to record this, that, and the other thing. So it's a shit show.
The other thing.
Right. Nonetheless.
October 26th, Angel Gate in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Rebel is going to be there.
And I have committed to going. You will be partying up in Vegas.
No, I will not be partying up in Vegas yet. I will be cooking chickens that day for the Footlighters of Ridgeway, and then I have a Halloween party at the Country Club.
So I can't even help you do that day.
No, you can't.
Good job.
I didn't schedule this.
Good job, Ted.
Yeah, you talk to Ted and Autumn.
Good job. I'm not getting on the Autumn one. Dude.
I'm the grunt here. Oh, don't worry. She will never hear it. She doesn't listen to this.
So Angel Gate, I'm going to run down. This is opening another avenue for us in McKeesport with all the women wrestlers. And I'm actually really excited about going to this for the first time. So, yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Hopefully we can get to work with some of them as well. Guys, again, I want to continue to push before Paul cuts me off. I want to continue to push. If you know, and we're going to focus on indie wrestlers. If you know an indie wrestler or I want to say old school wrestler that you'd like to hear from, either shoot them a message, say, hey, guys, Can Crushers, we're willing to talk to anybody. Yeah. We really are. No. Referees, announcers, anything. Shoot them a message or shoot us a message saying, hey, try to get in touch with them. We'd like to know some more of their backstory. I love marking out talking to them. I really am on the side of the mic being a jackass going like, oh, my God, I'm glad they don't see me half the time.
Well, that's probably a good thing. Also, this is another way to spotlight them because they entertain us all the time.
Right.
That's what they do. And for us to give back a little bit and let everybody know who they are and what their story is, and I mean, that's awesome for us too. So, it's a give type thing.
A give.
And you guys get to take it all in.
Take it all. We are also going to go live in the near future. That's in the works I'm going to promote it now. To go to Straub's, and we'll be doing a live recorded, so you guys will get it on the back end. But you can also come to Straub's, eat, drink, and be merry.
The Straub's Tap Room, which is a new thing that they have over in St. Mary's, and we have another brew pub opening up in Ridgeway, which is a brew bank, and we're going to talk to them, and we're going to try to get into there because. We're not only wrestling.
We love beer.
We love beer. We do love beer. I mean, if it wasn't 9 o'clock on a Sunday, probably would have cracked one.
It's 10:15 right now.
Well, yeah, but we started at around 9.
Yeah.
30.
So, all right, the music's playing.
Garbage, 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 garbage.
my favorite part of the show. It is the Mark flips over the paper, so I remember what to say at the end. This is the garbage tip of the week. Garbage tip of the week comes to you because of ignorance, I guess. And with Hogan being on Monday Night Raw, we gotta say it. You gotta watch how you say things and what you do nowadays.
Watch your words.
And it's not because you need to. It's because it's.
You should have been taught this growing up.
Yes. I mean, if you wouldn't want somebody to say something like that about you, don't say it about somebody else.
Exactly.
And it is basically, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Is what my dad always used to tell me, and I stick by that.
Treat people
to a T.
how you want to be treated
right.
as well. You know, it's in work. It's in. You talk to some of the wrestlers as well. If you're going to be hard in the ring, they're going to be hard back, you know.
And you can't get mad about that.
No, you have to protect each other. And if it's us telling you to be good with your words, it's them telling you with the moves in the ring, it's your mannerisms, anything. Again, this is broken down Mark way is don't be a dick.
Right.
You know, life is way too short. Just go out there and treat people how you want to be treated.
And with everything that's happened now that they can go back and social media leaves a fingerprint.
All the time.
All the time. No matter if you delete it or not,
It's
somewhere somebody's going to find it.
And I don't care about the Snapchats. They're saved in a cloud somewhere.
Yeah, something always happens. So watch what you do. Watch how you say things. Everybody love everybody is pretty much where I'm going with this.
Right. The whole hug fest.
Yes. A hug fest is basically what I'm talking about.
Maybe we should sponsor a hug fest.
We could have a hug booth somewhere.
Will Autumn work it? She loves to be hugged.
Loves hugs. Loves them. No, I don't think she'll work that one, Mark.
Not at all.
Also, if you're out and about doing anything, volunteer your services sometimes. I mean, there's great community events, and everybody could use some help. And go in with the attitude where I'm just here to help. Let me know what I have to do. Don't be a dick about that either.
See, it wraps around to that. And I know times are tough across the board. Trust me. If you can give $1 to, you know, a charity, that dollar is going to mean a difference. You know, you can't buy a cup of coffee today. Guess what? You have coffee at home.
Right.
Give that dollar to somebody that's needed it, and you will feel better about yourself.
You'll start to make the world a better place like we try to make the world a better place. That's what we're
try to. There's some days that we...
stupid podcast, so we talk about stupid shit and laugh about it.
Right.
That's how we make things better. Remember, Mark, just because you're trash, it doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot.
See you Wednesday. Spotlight. Whoop, whoop.